Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Zach with GDC LLC, and we're here today on the kitchen and bathroom remodel. And I just like to give you a little sneak peek at the bathroom so far. It's looking a lot different than the last time that you might have seen it, and that's because we've gotten some subcontractors to come back in here and they didn't want to get videoed, and so you're going to see the results of what they did. So we brought the electricians back in here and the tile guys back in here, and they were able to finish some of the backsplash, actually all of it, and the knee wall tile. And then also the electricians came back in here and hooked up the sconce, the fan, and the recessed light. Got all the switches working. We finally got some light in here, which I've been waiting so long for. And I also even got some trim work done in here. And I just want to take you around and show you what I did and give you some points and tips as to bringing the final results to a project and how to make that look really good. So here we go. Here's a little pan of what we did. There's the sconce. We got the mirror in. Vanity's looking great. Knee wall tile. We even got the glass to come in here. The glass guys showed up yesterday. Got the baseboard in with the base cap. We got this detail here, which isn't ideal, but we set up this supply line for this toilet is actually right directly behind the toilet, and the toilet actually conceals the supply line at all. So I think it's going to be a fine look, and we'll see it once the toilet goes in. Got the baseboard there, and then we've got our door casing, our switches on this side. There's 4 switches. I think everything's looking pretty good right now. I even put some crown molding up. All right, guys, so we're here in the kitchen, and so just like over in the bathroom, we have a lot that has changed in here. Things are really coming together. Like I said, the electricians came in, the tile guys came in, were able to do their backsplash. I was able to get some more trim work done. I'm starting to work on the bench seating, which I'll show you, and I'm starting to trim that out. And it's a pretty interesting process, and it's going to really liven up this kitchen and give a nice area for people to hang out, chat while maybe somebody else is cooking a meal. It's going to really be more of a place that people want to come to and hang out. And I think removing this wall that we had here really just opened this up, and people can go to the rest of the house, come through easily, sit down at the bench seating here. And it's really just brought this whole home together, which I'm excited about. But I'll take you for a little tour around where we're at right now and what needs to get done in here, and then we'll show you how to do that. All right, so here is a little, I'll pan back for you guys. There's the trim with the tile around it. I think it's looking fantastic. We got those 2 pendants that we were able to line up directly on the mullions of these windows, which I'm excited about. I think it looked really good. We decided to not do an apron underneath the sill here, which I think was a good move because the tile going right up to it looks really good. Over here, I need to add a filler strip on the right side of this wine holder, which is not a big deal. We got our toe kicks in on the bottom of the cabinets. And then if you come over here, I'll pan over. The windows looking really good over here too. We got tile up there, tile all around, same sill detail down there. And then we got the trim on the door casing, which this one was pretty much a double scribe I had to do. I had to scribe this wall here, which I'll show you on the other door, on the other side, how I approach a scribe. So maybe you guys can see how that's done. And same thing here. It was a little bit more challenging. I had to scribe it to the countertop and then scribed it to the cabinet behind the door and the drawer there. And then there's a little piece of baseboard down there. But we had a really tight spot here, so that the drawer opens up. That opens up nice, just barely makes it. And same with this door. The door just barely opens, but it doesn't hit the trim at all, which is what we were going for. And we had very limited room on this job, so I'm glad that that turned out good. I was able to get some baseboard in over here. And then if I'll take you over here, here is the bench seating. And inside the bench seating, let me move this vacuum. The electricians came and they took the power from the wall there and ran it over to this outlet on this side of the bench. So they'll have some power. You can charge your phone or whatever while you're sitting on here, or your laptop. They did a really fantastic job with that. And then over here is just a blank. We have more power there if we ever need it, but it's just a blank. And then there is an outlet also on that side over there, so they can charge on that side of the bench too. And now what I'm doing over here is, this is kind of what it's going to look like as a finished product, is we're going to have picture frame this box out, and that's going to continue the whole way around. And then there will be a bench top that goes on here that actually opens up, which is going to be super nice. I think she'll really enjoy that. And then in here, the tile guys finish the floor. And I'm excited to show you guys what we do with this spot here. That's going to be down the road, but we're doing like a whole mud room, like shoe storage and coat hanger and some shelves up top for her to put some stuff. Hey everybody, just wanted to show you how to do a scribe. I think this is a perfect spot for you to show, or for me to show you guys. And so the first steps that I take is you want to cut your piece to length and get it fit. Now obviously you can see this piece here is a lot wider than what I actually am going to need. And there's a purpose for that. So what you need to do is, here's the door jamb. I'll show you from this side. So whenever you're doing a scribe and you want the edge of your casing to land just like on the opposing side with like a 1/4 inch reveal, what you need to do is measure from the door jamb over to the edge of your piece of trim. And whatever this measurement is, which mine ended up being 1 inch and 13/16, you need to match that at the bottom. So you have to make sure that this is 1 inch and 13/16. Now that we know that our piece of trim is parallel with our door casing, this will work even if your door jamb is not plumb, which is very useful because sometimes, like for example, this door jamb, I didn't install it. So most likely it's not plumb. But you can do this scribe and it doesn't matter if it's plumb or not. So if you match the distance from the jamb to the edge of your casing on the top and on the bottom, you get your number, which was 1 inch and 13/16. And I want a 1/4 inch reveal. So I add a 1/4 inch to that measurement, which brings me to 2 1/16. So you can see the pointer of my scribes is on the 3 mark, and my pencil is on the 5 1/16. So it's at 2 1/16. And all you're gonna do is just run your scribe along the side that you're scribing to. So just like this. And now I'm about to come up to a part here where it's a little tricky. but it should be all right. Just make sure you get your pencil line good. And now you can see that I'm hitting the bottom of the cabinet. Now I actually want to scribe this to the Scribe Trim for the tile. So I just need to extend the metal part of this scribe back there to where it's touching it and make sure that it's hitting it. And one way that I can adjust this is if I take my pencil adjuster here and move this back a little bit. Hold on, let me loosen that up and just move it back a little. There we go. See how it's back a little now? That'll give me a little extra room to do that. So now I just need to, phone was dying. So then you just have to run this across the Scribe Trim there. Oh, it's hard to do this with the camera. Bear with me. Okay. All right. And now I hit that. And now I'm gonna scribe. Actually, I'm gonna extend my pencil again, just so that we're accurate. Tighten that up. And now I'm gonna scribe this part here. Make a mark here. And then down here, underneath the countertop, I'm gonna run that down. Oh, sorry. It's hard to do this. All the way down to the ground. All right. And then all you have to do here is just take a square or a level and just square over that line and square over that line. Sorry, just getting over a sickness. But as you can see, there's my scribe all the way to the top. And then I'll show you how it turns out. All right, everybody, here's the scribe. Now I'll show you first the reveal on the door jamb. There's that 1/4" reveal that we were talking about. So I was able to maintain that reveal. And just a little bit of caulk to clean up any table saw imperfections, but it's a pretty good scribe from what we discussed. There's only one spot that I made a minor mistake, which it happens, is I went just a hair too long on that, like a 1/16 over, so I had to caulk it. Come for me. But either way, it still came out good. And I think this whole door is beautiful. It's gonna look really good once it's painted. And we're actually gonna have like a chair rail butt into this at the top here. It'll look nice. Hey everybody, I wanna show you a little bit of what I have to do with this piece. This is a fascia board for the cabinetry. And I'll show you right over here. Basically what I have to do is carry that fascia board around this corner of drywall and return it back to that cabinet. It's a very funky little spot. I've thought about so many different ways of doing it, but this is what I finally settled on. And so that is the miter that will be coming around the corner of the cabinet. And basically I had to shave out this part of the fascia for the corner there of plaster. And then I have this other piece here that I cut that's gonna look like that. It's gonna come around the corner there and encapsulate that. A little tricky. Hey guys, so here is the crown molding over the stove area. And I was able to carry this around all the way. And you can see that fascia board that I just showed you. And here's the crown molding coming around. Comes around that corner like that, all the way over, and around the corner like that. Now, I think this area doesn't look too bad. I think that looks good. The only thing that I'm not the happiest about is, if you can see the crown molding up there, it sits recessed compared to the doors. Where these ones, you can't really tell. They sit proud because of a fascia board. But we weren't able to get a fascia board up there. But it's just what we have to live with. So all these cabinets in this kitchen, I'll pan back and show you from a distance. All these cabinets in here are stock cabinets. And unfortunately, one of the things that happens when you choose stock cabinets is you can't really get them custom made. You have to buy them off the shelf, the certain sizes. So everywhere in this kitchen it worked having this, but this was the only area that being the designer talked about where this was a stock cabinet, and the only way that the fridge could fit underneath it was if we moved the cabinet all the way up like that, which eliminated the ability to use a fascia. And so we're just gonna have to kind of live with it. But if you stand back and look at it from the distance here, it's not really that noticeable. I mean, I'm noticing it and you're noticing it because we're walking through this process and doing it. But as a homeowner, you might not really notice it. I mean, it does look different from that side, right across from it, so that's kind of weird. Maybe if I hold it in from this side, you can see it. I mean, I don't think you're really gonna notice it too much. It's not that weird, but that's what we went with. I think it's gonna look pretty good. All right, everybody, I wanna just show you kind of some of the stuff that I do as a design aspect of the carpentry. We didn't have the designer actually create this mudroom bench and shelving, and so I had to draw it up. And so I took some grafting paper and drew up a little design myself. And so I'll walk you through it. We have a tile floor in the mudroom, and on that floor we're gonna have like little cubbies here. These are all little cubbies where you can put your shoes, probably just a bunch of shoes. But we're gonna do 3/4 plywood paint grade, so we're gonna go with poplar. For all of this down here, these two H's, so I'll have 2 uprights and a middle, 2 uprights and a middle, and then we're gonna go with white oak, 1-inch white oak as the counter or the bench top. And we're actually gonna test out a few stains on the scrap pieces and see what stain color she likes, and I think that will look pretty good. The other thing that we're doing for this is like shelving up above the bench seat, and so this is what I drew up for that shelving. It might be kind of hard to see because I only use pencil, but we're gonna have I'm gonna laminate 3/4 for a shelf, so we'll have 1.5 inch thick shelves. And so this bottom will be an 1.5 inch shelf, and this will be an 1.5 inch shelf. And then the top will have just one sheet of 3/4, and then the two sides are going to be 3/4. And it'll kind of basically be like an open cabinet, I guess, because there will be a back to it, 1/2 inch poplar back. And so we'll just kind of slide in there. But I'll show you the area that this is all going. It's all going right here. This back, stand back. So we have the panel there, so we have to work around that panel. But basically, so that bench is gonna sit there, and I'll just slide that right in there. I gave myself a little bit of room on both sides, like 1/2 inch on each side for a little bit of shimming. And then I'll fit the top in and scribe that to the wall. And then up top is going to be the shelves cabinet, and that will slide in there. Did the same thing, left like about 1/2 inch on each side to just shim. And then I'll do a face frame around it, and that's going to be out of poplar as well. And on those uprights that will be right here will be poplar, face frame, and same with this entire cabinet. So I'll be able to scribe it to the walls. And then the painters are just going to have to patch up these walls because you can see they look pretty crummy. That wall is pretty gnarly. They'll have to patch that up. And then even here, the insulation actually blew this out. So we'll have to figure that out. But I have been playing with the idea of, so she also wants some like coat hooks to go underneath the upper shelving to where she can come up here and hang her coats. And she wants like poplar uprights, like a grid almost, make like a grid pattern on that wall. And I might just use a sheet of plywood on that back wall too, so we can paint that. But I'm not totally convinced yet because I know this is going to be the wall color, that's going to be the wall color, so it might be weird that not being the wall color. So I might just end up leaving that as well. And then I'll run the poplar uprights off of this and have a horizontal poplar 1x4 with all the coat hooks on it. I think it's going to look pretty cool, but you'll have to see that in the future because that's one of the last things that I'm going to do.